build a life and business legacy on purpose through mindset, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team so they can make an amazing impact and income and positively affect their communities worldwide. Ensure that you are sharing this show, you're subscribing, and you also are leaving us a review so we can create more amazing content around those areas to help you level up to the next level and also bring amazing guest experts that can share their knowledge and expertise with you so that you can create amazing legacy. Hello, Legacy Builders. Welcome back to another show with another amazing interview and another amazing episode with experts and people that are really purpose driven and doing amazing impact, creating amazing impact in the world with the work that they're doing. And today we're going to talk about how empowering ourselves as parents absolutely correlates to empowering our children, as well as a lot of us might be parents and we are also entrepreneurs and CEOs. And we know how there's so much similarity between the role of parenting and also the role of being a founder, company leader. So I'm just excited to be able to connect with Kristina and Herb, a powerful couple in life and business today, and they will share with us some of the amazing experience that they have around this very unique topic. So Kristina and Herb, Heagh Avritt. I hope I said your last name correctly. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for finding time to be here.
Thank you for having us, Elona. This is awesome. We are so pleased to be here.
Very much so. And our name is actually a little easier. It's Heagh Avritt, like Hey Elona, Heagh Avritt. So
Heagh Avritt, I got it. Thank you. Thank you so much for that clarification. But yeah, most importantly, I know you're two very good humans, as I was also blessed to be on your podcast. So I really am grateful to be able to have you share your message with our audience today as well. So I usually start off with all my guests, and you can pick and choose who's going to share part of the story around a few of the most meaningful moments that led you to this work that you're doing today.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, so we are from Vibrant Family Education. And the reason we started this was I, as a 27-year teacher, knew that it was time to get out of the classroom and do some more work with parents directly. I saw changes in the education system. I saw changes in the way parents couldn't communicate, changes in the curriculum, lots of different things that really made it hard for me to be a teacher in the classroom. And so I knew that it was time to leave the classroom and become a coach and a mentor for parents who wanted to do something different with their education.
Yeah. So we met in college in 1989. I was a sophomore, she was a freshman, and she was going to college to become a teacher. So I got to watch her go through college to become a teacher. I got to be there with her through the 27 years of her teaching. And over the years, I got to watch her go from at the end of the first couple of her years of teaching, of crying at the end of the year that her students were going away, and she had such a great year with them and she was going to miss them, to crying throughout the year because she was having trouble reaching the kids, and the way they were pushing stuff in the classroom, they were taking away her ability to reach the kids and the changes. And so it just changed throughout the years. And over the years, we had talked about ways that the education system could be improved. And strangely, one day I woke up in my driveway. For some reason, I got out of bed at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I went out, I got dressed, and I was standing in my driveway. And then I just had this vision of the school system. And at that moment, is like, as I saw this thing, it's like, wow, I'm not worthy of that. And for the first time in my life, I heard this otherly voice say, not yet, but you will be. And a little time after that, I actually started hurting my head. I damaged my brain. I got some brain injuries. And my life kind of fell apart. And then somehow, after losing my business and all of that stuff falling apart, I ended up in Montana helping a friend move. And she took me to this thing that she was doing, and it happened to be a business meeting. And over the course of this 3-day business event, on the very last day, right before the very last part of the event, which I was very much trying to not participate in, because again, I was hurt, I was messed up, I was really depressed at that time. Mm-hmm. once again heard this otherly voice in this moment of opening myself up, say, tell them about your school. And so in this business event, the last event was like the speaking thing, and I stood up and I talked about the school system that we saw. And the entrepreneurs, the business people there were like shocked. They was like, do you really have this? And it's like, I don't, but we do. And so some of the stuff that we talked about was how this school works so well with the entrepreneur family. And that's kind of how we got started. I came back from that business meeting, signed up with that coach, which when we got there was zero chance of that happening because I didn't even know it was this kind of a coaching thing. And by the end of it, we signed up with the coach, and we came home and I talked to her about the school, and we started moving forward to create this school system that I had seen several years before.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that vision behind your purpose, right? Is it on, by chance, or is it on purpose? I find that everything that happens to us is always on purpose and leading us really to the work that we feel called to be able to get involved ourselves with, or even serve others with. So I love the story that you shared, and it's not uncommon, which is why I always start off my interviews with that, because discovering the purpose behind the work we do, understanding the why, drives us, drives our passion, drives our service, drives the contribution I want to make towards others. So I'm so curious, and what I got attracted, based on what you shared, is around the name of your company, Vibrant Family. So what does a vibrant family mean to you both?
Vibrant family is a family that is based in family values. They work through and they have strong relationship. And the education that they're giving their child isn't just academics. It's around the whole child, the whole family, how to be successful in life, how to move forward in life, how to know your purpose and your passion, and to really help the children develop those skills as they're growing.
Yeah, right now the nuclear family is kind of under attack in the Western world. And we're conservative-minded individuals, and we know that here in the United States that the nuclear family is the future of our country. If you break up the family, you're going to destroy our country. And so our education system right now, in a way, is not conducive, especially to the entrepreneur family, because one of the things you hear a lot in the news is like wow, the word capitalism, about how capitalism is so bad, and how business owners and the rich people are taking everything and destroying everything. And so the kids are going to school and hearing that, and then they're coming back to their families who might be the entrepreneurs, who might be the capitalists, and it's creating divisions within the family. And that can't be actually further from the truth, because the small businessmen, the entrepreneurs are what's holding this country together. And so we try to get involved in that, so that the entrepreneurs can actually start educating their children and bringing that information in. So instead of it being a contentious place at home, they can bring their family values, they can show their family values, they can show what they're doing for their family, and start bringing that together. One of the things that we talk about is so many entrepreneurs are into business development. They take a lot of business development classes. They also are a lot into personal development. They do so much personal development. And one of the things that they're doing is they're doing all of this for their family, but they leave their family behind, because it's like, oh, I have to do all of this for my family, and then when I get there, then I'll go back and fix the problems. And so what we're doing is we're showing these entrepreneurs how to bring their family with them, so they can take their end goal and put it right in the middle of it, and do family development, and put that third leg under that stool, under that table, so that they can balance their family life. They can balance all of it together, and they can grow their family and their business and their personal development all at the same time, without sacrificing their family, which is what they're doing all of this for in the first place.
Wow, keyword family development. It's I love it, because yes, it is so true, and it sounds like even there is some sort of school for parenting, right? Because it's such a It's such a authentic process, and a lot of times us as parents, I know from my experience, we grow up with our kids, right? They teach us a lot as well, so they could be our teachers as much as we could be their teachers and students, and we switch back and forth around this role. But I love that you talked about school, because even the name of my company is called The Life School, because I believe that the skills that they gain and the skills that we get to teach them that maybe are not taught in traditional schools under those systems and old structures, which are also coming down because people are realizing that it no longer serves us in the world that we're living in. It's so important to teach them a lot of these other skills that they need, right? And model that for them. So that leads us beautifully into our today's topic. So empowered parents empower their children. So how can we empower ourselves as parents? What are some of the things that we need to know so that obviously that modeling goes right into the little ones that are watching us, a little audience, I call them.
I love that. Well, and one of the very first things is that there's three myths that we talk about a lot. And the first one is that you can't be your child's teacher. And that is something that is perpetuated from the school system, from the government, from the everything. It's like, oh yeah, you don't have enough knowledge to teach your children. And we say, absolutely not. Remember, you are your child's first best teacher because you do it from the minute they're born. You are teaching them right from the get-go. Even if you don't know it, even if you're not doing specific lessons, you are still teaching them. You're teaching them values, you're teaching them character, you're teaching them how to interact in the world. So you are your child's first best teacher. And even though there's people saying, well, you can't do it all the time, you need to send them to school, we challenge that. We say, wait a second. Let's look at how you want to have your child raised, what you think is important to your child, and what you think your family needs to grow. So it's together, that family development brought together. So that's the very first thing, is that empowered parents take charge of their child's education.
And another thing is that myth that the parent can't do it is, well, I didn't do well in school. How can I be the school teacher for my kid? Well, you are the perfect person to be teaching your kid because you know the school system let you down. You know the school system didn't work for you. So why do you expect something that didn't work for you to work for your children who are a conglomeration of their parents? You know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree is the way the saying goes. So if the education system didn't work for you and you went out and you started your own business, became an entrepreneur and fought through all of that stuff, well, that is the perfect teacher for your kids because you know that it didn't work for you. You found a way to make things work for you in life anyway. And let's start teaching our children that instead of sitting in that box and learning stuff that wasn't appropriate for you or what you were doing in the first place.
I know. Are we saying that you know everything you need to know? No. We know as entrepreneurs, we know as business people, we hire coaches, we hire mentors, we do research, we do things that help us fill in the gaps that we don't understand. But you know your child.
Yeah, that's where the personal development comes in. If you don't know how to be a good reader, you know, you can get help, you can get coaching. And as you're teaching your children to be a better reader, it can help you. As you're teaching your children how to do better math, or it can help you get better at these things. So not only, this is one of these little secrets that we have, is as we're helping teach the children, it also helps the parents pick up little things that they missed along the way as well. So that's how you become more empowered.
I love how all these dots are connecting, and we're going back to personal development because yes, it's so true. I mean, most of the things I've learned is from watching, right? And just the values in my family, the modeling, all of those things. So we are more influential than we think as parents, which is, you know, a blessing and also a little more responsibility that we all have to be able to watch, you know, all the things that we say, or be intentional about the behaviors in our family, be clear about the values, be clear about the common vision that everybody has and how everyone is contributing, because that's where, those are the product in society later on, is that little human that has really been influenced in the home. So I absolutely agree that a parent that's empowered is a parent that is always learning and growing, and also very open to be able to bring in resources, other people, topics. Right now, information is everywhere. So it's about really helping, figuring out what are also your natural gifts of your child as well, because when you're in the personal development field, you understand that they're uniquely here with a unique purpose. So being very intentional about that as a parent, I think it's very important, because then you can channel them, you can help them, you can support them, and you can help them channel those gifts so they can leverage those strengths later on in life, so they can create more of an impact and really be able to have their own unique, authentic journey. So I believe in family. I believe in parenting, strong parents that are, role models, and they're always learning and growing. And being intuitive in the process, I think, is very important as well. Kristina and Herb, my other question for you is around the homeschooling. I'm assuming then you are proponents to homeschooling. So what are your thoughts around parents that, I know you touched upon that, that maybe have some of those, that fear around, okay, well, maybe if I homeschool my child, they're not going to get the whole structure or formation of going through all the different topics that they get taught in school. So what are your thoughts around homeschooling in general?
That is our main thing. We really want to support those parents who are being brave and being courageous and stepping out of the education system. So like we said, mentoring, coaching, getting help with that, right? One of the second myth actually that we talk about a lot, and that a lot of parents are like, well, homeschool is going to take too much time. And we say, no, really think about it. Homeschool actually takes less time because you're doing it in the rhythm and the rhyme of life, right? You're weaving it in. Yes, there's specific academic times that your children need, but then other parts of the school time is them learning those life skills like cooking, cleaning, interacting, community service, all of those different things. So homeschool is actually what we prefer, and we're here to help people do that, is pull their kids out and do that. And you can do it as an entrepreneur because you actually have more time than you think, because it doesn't take as much time as you think.
Yeah, so many entrepreneurs do that. I don't have time to do that because they think it's going to be 8 hours a day. But it's really 2 or 3 hours a day of maybe on-screen time with an online curriculum. But then there's so much more time where the children get to be doing stuff they love, like art or music, and they'll do that on their own time because it's something that they love to do. And also they think, oh, it's got to be during these times where I'm busy. But that's also not necessarily true. Some children learn better in the afternoon. Some children learn better in the evening. And so you can tailor the times where you are interacting with your children for their academic time to where it fits into your schedule. And if you think about it, it only takes, a couple hours a day, sometimes maybe a little more. How much time does it take you to step out and to take your kid to school and then to wait around to pick them up? I know people that take like an hour and a half, 2 hours to get their kids ready and get to school, and then to get in line at school and be there early to pick them up. That is that time that you could have in academics. And instead of being out of the house in that stressful time, that could be the academic time. They can wake up naturally. They can go through their day naturally. You can have chores that you've worked together as a family to create. When it is time for their academics, they could be sitting near their parents where their parents are working, so they can see their parents working and building the family while they're doing their school, and have it like a work environment so that they can understand how important it is because their parents are also doing it. So instead of, oh, my mom's home watching television and having a good time while I'm here stuck at school, whatever. Now they get to see their parents working. They get to understand that, and you get more control of what they're learning. And you can, beyond the reading, writing, and arithmetic, which is like the required stuff, you can start putting in like constitutional stuff. You can start talking about the Constitution. You can start going into business development. You can go into art if your kids like dance. Part of your homework could be, instead of taking them to school 5 days a week and picking them up, you take them to dance class twice a week, And, that those kind of interactions are so much more heartfelt with the kids and grow the family instead of all of that being shipped off for
somebody else to do.
Do.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it supports the freedom lifestyle that we all go into entrepreneurship for, with the intention of as one of our values of why we do what we do. So I love it.
Getting there one day. But now again, instead of getting there one day, if you start with that and you build it, it might be a little rough at first, but entrepreneurship is rough at first. But as it's rough at first and then you start growing it, then it becomes part of the family, and then your family becomes more vibrant as you grow it.
Absolutely. Two questions I have in mind that I know maybe somebody listening might be concerned with is, what is the actual recommended age group based on your experience for homeschooling? And also my other one is the fear of, will the kid get the social skills they need to serve them later in life?
That's myth number 3. We love that one.
We hit the 3 big ones already.
Your first question, though, is when do you start homeschooling? It's best if you just never put them in school in the first place. Start homeschooling when they're little. And that doesn't mean academics, sitting them down with a workbook when they're 3 or 4. That's not what that means, because homeschool at that age is very, very different. But yeah, you can start out from the very beginning.
Yeah, and 2 or 3 playing with blocks and hands and getting them cutting with scissors.
Doing life with you.
Those things help develop the brain and make it easier to read when they're 5 or 6. So just having these understandings, and then you can start the academics when they're ready. And so and if you are pulling them out of school, you will be amazed at how fast not only do they catch up, but start exceeding what's happening in public education. Because the kids, I was bored as heck at school, and so had I been able to learn on my own and to find something of interest and then just to dig into it, like I did when I got older, when I got into entrepreneurship, it's like, wow, that's really fascinating, man. I dug in and I learned as much as I could right away. Kids have that same want, that same ability, but stuck in that box for 18 years, that kind of beats that out of them. And so then when they get out of school, it's like, well, now what?
So that's your first question. Any age is a great age to homeschool. Now, if they're a little bit older and you're taking them out of school, there might be a little pushback. Oh, I'm going to miss my friends and this and this. But again, that's when you reach out to somebody to help support you through that. It can happen. Now, that big elephant in the room, right? My kid is going to be weird, or my kid won't know how to interact because they've been homeschooled. That is just an old paradigm. It really, really is. I mean, yeah, it used to be that a lot of people homeschooled because they did want to have their kids be different, right? And they were maybe shy and things like that. But with the amount of information that's available, the amount of activities that are available, the way you can move through life now compared to the way homeschool used to kind of be looked at, it's not like that anymore. And so many of our homeschooled children anymore are actually more socialized and better equipped to be in the world because they've had life experiences. They go out and they do community service, and they work with lots of different ages and stages of life and communicate. They go out and have experiences with their entrepreneur parents at masterminds and workshops and things like that. They choose how they want to be, and they don't have the tormenting and teasing and stuff at school because they're going to activities they really love, like the sports teams and things where everybody wants to be there. So they're kinder to each other and they work together more. So it's a big fear, but really, if you're an intentional parent, if you're an empowered parent, like we're talking about, it's not an issue because your child is more comfortable. They know they got you backing them up, and then they can explore and really grow and become the kid that they really want to be.
Yeah, and the socialization that they get in a school, the only time they will ever be in that environment is at school. Whole bunch of really young people who have no communication skills, who have no socialization skills to start with, are all thrown together in a way that's a lot of times unsupervised. My most traumatic experiences in my life happened in high school. My worst memories are some of the stuff that happened.
It was middle school.
right
Yes.
in middle school. That shy kid that's teased and made fun of, and then by the time they get to high school, they're completely shut down. Well, that shy kid might really like music, and instead of being tortured in school, they're homeschooled. But then they get to go to a music class, and there's going to be 20 other kids that love music and are there for a purpose. And then they're going to be working in cooperation instead of being teased for being different. They're all working towards what they like. They like sports. They're going to go and play sports with a group of people who want to do that. And so instead of being forced into a PE class against their will with a whole bunch of people who are running around and picking on them, they're going to start hating sports. I know this one kid that joined a Rubik's Cube club, and he loved Rubik's Cube, and started doing that and found a group of people that he could play with and talk with around Rubik's Cubes. So they get socialized in a way that's cooperative instead of confrontational or competitive, which happens in school.
Oh gosh, I love everything that you're saying. It's like music to my ears. And you know what? We're in so much alignment that as you're speaking to me, it's like, let them learn from the school of life. Yes. Right? Yes. It's like, it's such a beautiful, beautiful harmony way to look at the world nowadays. And
right now, colleges are really recruiting heavily from homeschooled kids, because they come with the skills. They can take care of themselves. They do work well with others. They do understand how to do homework. They don't have to be babysat. They don't have to be taken to safe spaces. And they're able to actually graduate with a higher rate because they know how to do their work. They know how to write sentences. They're actually more academically ahead of people coming from public schools. So even colleges and universities right now are looking for homeschooled kids because they know that they have a better rate of graduation and making it through.
Wow, powerful stuff. Well, thank you so much, Herb and Kristina, for everything you just shared. We have actually reached the end of the show, and I would like to ask you as a final message, besides homeschooling, what are some other ways that you help families, and what is your final message for our audience? And then lastly, where is it that they can continue this conversation with you?
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, absolutely. Make sure that you are becoming an empowered parent by building your communication skills, listening to your children, working with your children. All of this is based on that big family dynamic of family values, family goals, and working and supporting your children through their growth and development. And then you can always find us at vibrantfamilyeducation.com. There's a free ebook there that talks about some of these principles that we have talked about. There's ways to get a hold of me, to ask me questions, to explore this topic further. www.vibrantfamily.com. Thank you so much.
And if you can't get your kids out of school, if that's just really not in the cards, we can still help you. There are so many ways that we can help you learn how to talk to your teachers. We do offer tutoring services to help get your kids caught up, because once they fall behind in public schools, the way public schools are set up now, they just push you through. And if you miss something in between, then you just fall farther and farther behind, and it's really detrimental to the kids' health. So even if you can't take your kids out of school, there are ways that we can help you with again,
family support, family development,
family coaching, communication, and with helping your kids get caught up in school.
I love your mission so much. I want to thank you for everything you just shared, and you're such an amazing resource. And there's so many parents out there that I know this is something new for all of us. So I think we definitely will need the support of people like you that can help us navigate whatever that journey looks like for us. So I definitely encourage to check out Kristina and Herb's website right on the screen here and be able to further connect with them. They're also part of our life school. So definitely connect and continue to start these conversations. I'm definitely going to reach out to you at the end for a personal question, because I think there's a lot of parents that are thinking this, but because it's such a new model, we have all those fears that are all those questions or myths that we just tapped into just the two of them, but there's so much more. So I'm sure you have put a lot of amazing resources together. Thank you for all the amazing work you're doing out there in the world, and thank you for always watching and supporting this show. You know what to do to support us, to share, and also be able to subscribe so that you don't miss any amazing experts and people that come here, open up their heart, and then share their message with you. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye, everybody. looking for alignment between your purpose and your profit in your business, if you're experiencing these two main pain points in your business, lack of consistent cash flow and sales, and also lack of knowledge and strategy for scalability, then we must connect. I would love to schedule a call for a 30-minute free discovery session where I could see what you have built, meet where you are in your phase and stage of growth, and also help you identify some of the gaps that you might be experiencing in your business, in the alignment of your purpose and profit, and also in really carrying forward that vision that you have for your company moving forward, for your impact and also for your profit. Schedule a free 30-minute discovery call in the link below, as my calendar gets very full very fast, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there.